You walk into the kitchen and you just stand there. You have no idea why you came in. Words you used to use keep slipping. Names, thoughts, forget about it. The sentence you were in the middle of, gone. You write things down. You never used to write things down. And your doctor told you everything looks fine. So if everything is fine, why does nothing feel fine? I'm Dr. Stasha-Gae Roberts. I am a nurse practitioner, a veteran, and the founder of Compassion Primary Care here in Tampa, Florida. I built this practice for the woman who has been to the appointments, had the labs drawn, and left every single time knowing something was still wrong. If that is you, keep watching. What you're experiencing has a name. It has biological causes, and it is almost always testable when someone is willing to look. You are not losing your mind. You're not just getting old, and you do not have to prove that you're struggling here. So let's start with what we are even talking about. Brain fog. It is not a clinical diagnosis. It is a collection of symptoms: mental fatigue, difficulty concentrating, word finding problems, short-term memory gaps, the feeling that things take more effort than it used to. It is not dramatic, it is not imagined, and it is not the same as normal aging. A 2025 review published in Frontiers in Molecular Biosciences found that up to 60% of midlife women report difficulties with memory, attention, and verbal fluency during perimenopause. And here's the part that matters. Objective testing showed measurable declines that lined up with the fluctuations in estrogen and other reproductive hormones. These are real changes. They are measurable, and they are often responsive to the right investigation. But you cannot get the right support if no one is willing to look for the cause. So let's look. I'm going to walk through 3 things your standard appointment almost never covers: what estrogen actually does in your brain, what progesterone does that nobody tells you about, and why a normal thyroid panel is missing the most important parts. So the first thing I want you to know is this: estrogen is not just a reproductive hormone, it's actually a brain hormone, and one of the most important brain hormones you have. Your brain is packed with estrogen receptors. They are especially concentrated in the regions responsible for memory, executive function, and emotional regulation: the hippocampus, the prefrontal cortex. These are the parts of your brain that help you find a word, hold a thought, plan your day, and they depend on estrogen to do their work well. Now, here's what happens in perimenopause. Estrogen does not decline smoothly. It does not gradually taper down. It fluctuates wildly, unpredictably. Some days you have a lot, some days you have almost none, and your brain has to keep adapting to the swing. A 2024 imaging study from Weill Cornell Medicine showed exactly what your brain does to compensate. As estrogen drops, the brain increases the density of its estrogen receptors, basically turning up the volume on a speaker that's losing signal. And that increases in receptors was associated with poor memory performance. Your brain is working harder with less, and the cost shows up as fog, as forgetfulness, as that walking into a room and blanking moment you've been having. That is not aging, that is biology, and there is real peer-reviewed science on what to do about it, including bioidentical hormone replacement therapy when clinical appropriate. This is not a protocol, it's based on individualized care. Now, here's where the part most women have never heard. Progesterone often declines before estrogen does. In perimenopause, progesterone is usually the first hormone to drop, usually in our mid-30s, and most standard appointments will never test it. Progesterone is what's called a neuroactive steroid. That means it acts on your brain directly. Specifically, it works on something called GABA receptors. GABA receptors are the calming receptors in your nervous system, the same ones that many anti-anxiety medications target. When progesterone is at a healthy level, those calming receptors are activated, your nervous system can settle, sleep is restorative, anxiety quiets. When progesterone drops, that calming signal weakens. And here is what so many women describe to me: they feel wired and tired at the same time, anxious, unable to quiet their mind, awake at 3 in the morning, even though they're exhausted. And then poor sleep makes the next day's brain fog worse. Sleep deprivation alone, without any hormones in the picture, measurably impairs memory and concentration. So now you have hormonal fog plus sleep deprivation stacking on top of each other. If you are anxious, foggy, and tired, low progesterone may be an important part of the picture. Now, I want to talk to you about your thyroid because this is the section that, in my practice, can make the biggest difference in many women. Your thyroid is your body's metabolic engine. Every single cell in your body, including every single cell in your brain, depends on your thyroid hormone to function. When your thyroid is not working well, brain fog, slow thinking, memory problems, and fatigue are some of the earliest, most consistent symptoms you'll feel. Here's the problem though. Standard thyroid screening, the test you get at your annual physical, usually only measures one thing: TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. TSH does not measure your thyroid. TSH measures whether your brain is asking your thyroid to work harder, and that is a very different question. Let me say it plainly. A normal TSH does not mean your thyroid is working well. It means your brain is not panicking yet. A complete thyroid evaluation, the kind I run in my practice, includes TSH and free T3 and free T4 and reverse T3 and thyroid antibodies. Free T3 is the active form of our thyroid hormone. It's the form that actually enters your cell and does the work. You can have a perfectly normal TSH and still have a low free T3 or elevated reverse T3, and you're going to feel exactly like somebody who has hypothyroid. And then there's Hashimoto's thyroiditis. This is the most common cause of hypothyroidism in women, and it is frequently missed because nobody's checking antibodies, but it should be a normal part of your exam. So here's the bigger truth underneath all of this. Standard lab panels are designed to rule out disease. They use reference ranges built from the population averages. So as a result, normal can fall within a certain range, but that does not mean that that is optimal for you. Normal is not the same as well. In integrative and functional medicine, we use optimal ranges alongside standard ones. For thyroid, that often means looking for free T3 in the upper third of the reference range, TSH closer to 1 to 2, no detectable thyroid antibodies. For hormones in perimenopause, a single snapshot may not capture the whole pattern because estrogen fluctuates so unpredictably. The timing matters, the trend matters, and the symptom picture matters more than any number. The gap between normal and optimal is often exactly where you have been living and exactly where the answers are. Now, I want to be honest with you about something. Not every fog is hormonal, not every fog is thyroid. Sleep, blood sugar, chronic stress, gut health, inflammation, they all feed into how your brain feels. A real evaluation looks at the whole person, not just one panel. This is what I mean when I say honest care, not comfortable care. I'm not going to tell you that one pill fixes this. I'm not going to validate everything and send you on your way. And I'm not going to dismiss what you're feeling because your numbers fall inside a wide reference range. I'm going to listen, investigate, tell you what I find with kindness, but clearly. My face shapes how I show up for my patients. My clinical training shapes the depth of the work, and both matter. Here is what I want you to hold on to. Both things can be true at the same time. Your body is changing, and this is not your new normal. Both deserve real investigation. Brain fog is one of the most dismissed symptoms in midlife women's care. It does not show up cleanly on a standard panel. It does not have a billing code. Inside a system built on rush visits and insurance quotas is one of the easiest symptoms to write off as stress, age, or lifestyle. But if you have been living in this fog, you know the difference between a bad week and something that has been quietly shifting for months or maybe even years. You know something is not right. Your body is not betraying you. Your body is telling you the truth. So if brain fog has been part of your daily life, if you are exhausted, foggy, forgetful, and you've been told everything looks normal while you know it does not, I would love for you to book a free non-pressure discovery call. My signature program is called the Finally Answered Program. It's a 3-month root cause program built specifically for women who are done leaving appointments without answers. It's currently in the beta with limited spots, and I am prioritizing the interest list in the order discovery calls are booked. The discovery call itself is free. It's a real conversation. It's not a sales call. We talk about what you've been experiencing, what may have been missed, and whether Compassion Primary Care is the right fit for you. Book your call at compassionprimarycare.com. The link is in the bio. Compassion Primary Care serves women across Brandon, Valrico, Riverview, Fishhawk, Parrish, Ellington, Lakewood Ranch, and the Tampa Bay Suncoast region. We offer virtual appointments, home visits, and in-person care at the Wellness Center of Ellington. So this is not your 20s, ladies. This is not your new normal either. And you do not have to prove you're struggling to be taken seriously here. Thank you for trusting me with your time today. Please like, follow, and share. I'm here to assist my patients in nursing their journey to lasting wellness.